Okay, trivia time. Time is on the clock. Name 5 things that automatically come to mind when thinking about wealth management or financial advisors. Ready? Go.
That's easy. Bored, painful, rather listen to my in-laws, numbers.
Almost there.
Torture?
We have a winner. Let's tell him what he's won. You've won the PennyWise Financial Podcast. Yes, it's a financial show, but we talk to you like human beings talk. Sure, we do the traditional retirement planning and money management, but we also help plan for other decisions, like buying a car, selling a home, buying vacation properties, or selling a business. We're more than financial advisors to you. PennyWise Financial, brought to you by Monarch Wealth Management. This is PennyWise Financial, and this is Constantine Kitrinos and David Georgiev.
Good morning, everyone. Constantine here, Monarch Wealth Management. Welcome to the PennyWise Financial Podcast.
Good morning, Dave Georgiev here, Monarch Wealth Management. We have with us today Brandon DiCesare of Optima Benefits. Brandon, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right, great. Good morning, guys. Appreciate you having me on. This is a lot of fun here. So Optima Benefits and Payroll. We're a family-owned business here in Brighton, New York. We service small to large businesses on the payroll and benefit side of things, and just really concentrate on the service end, helping our clients, get the resources and information that they need to be successful.
I bet you guys are going crazy right now with questions.
Yeah, it's definitely a busy time, but we're really priding ourselves in the service end of what we're doing for our clients right now. It's kind of been something we've kind of taken on as more of a value add to our clients, and really just diving into the new laws and the new rulings, and how people can navigate through it all. And really, I think it's been resonating very well with our clients. They know that we're there for them. They know that we're a resource that they can count on for correct information for one, and quick turnaround is also something that we're always trying to do to provide that next level of service that I don't think you get with your larger national providers. Really just trying to shine through on what we're trying to provide, and I think it's really let stand apart.
Yeah, I'm wondering now, so obviously we're in wealth management and we work together with you guys providing a lot of the payroll and benefits side of things with companies, but you work mainly with small to mid-sized companies in upstate New York. Am I right? Is there kind of your bread and butter?
That's definitely the majority of where our business is, but we are scattered about the entire country and probably, I want to say, about 35 to 40 states. So we are in the majority of states one way or the other, whether it's, businesses with multi-location, or we do have some large national partnerships that we manage association programs for that, really taking us all over the country, which is challenging, but also, helps us to educate ourselves all across the country because of that. So it's interesting to see the different dynamics all across the country and people dealing with the different problems and how they're handling it. And, even with this whole coronavirus, certain governors handle things differently than others. But we certainly are focused in the Rochester area. That's our bread and butter. That's where that's our community we serve, and that's, where we're most utilized, but we definitely have reaches all across the country.
So quick question on the small to mid-sized companies. What are people doing? I mean, obviously the virus is slowing things down and non-essential businesses are not open. But as far as payroll benefits, how do you see things? I mean, are people still running payroll?
Oh yeah. We're seeing, I would say, about a 20% drop in checks that we're cutting, which to me I thought would be far more than that, but we are certainly seeing a drop there. The benefit side, thankfully, a lot of our clients obviously see the value in having your health insurance right now. And so, a lot of it has been, even when they do lay off or furlough their employees, they're still allowing those employees to remain on the health plan. Now, this isn't everybody, but I would say the vast majority are allowing that to happen. knowing and hoping that the PPP money comes through here soon, and to allowing them to continue to keep their employees on the books. And so they're allowing that to kind of continue on uninterrupted for the most part. So it's really been, everybody I think is really kind of coming together to try and combat this as best as possible. And, I think, we were seeing obviously a drop, but not, I think, as bad as you would maybe think.
That's good news. That's good to hear. I know you guys have been integral. We're obviously, we have a strategic alliance and communicating with us, the PPP, the updates. But I could tell you there was a lot of business owners I talked to. I know Dave talked to the same. They were just confused about the whole PPP. What is it? A lot of business owners were telling me the last thing I need right now is another debt. That's the way they looked at it. And I'm thankful. I appreciate everything that you guys did as far as communicating it. But there were business owners that were just misinformed. They didn't know if they even qualified. And it's a shame. I don't know that the business owners that needed the funding are actually getting it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I just saw on the news the other day, Ruth Chris is getting, $20 million to, fund their business while they're on the shutdown. I was telling everybody who would listen to me that, apply, go get that money. It's out there for small business. You have no reason not to apply. Worst case scenario, in the event you have to pay the money back, it's money that you were holding on to for a short period of time, but most likely you have a rent to pay, you may have a mortgage to pay. You're going to be able to use some of that money, regardless of your employee counts. And if you bring them back, I'm telling everybody that, you need to, obviously there's layoffs and everybody, had to do what they had to do to survive. But the whole point of the PPP was to allow you to bring your employees back, even if they're not able to work, but bring them back, basically get them off unemployment and on your books. Some of the snags due to the way that the law was written, in regards to some of that, is because of the way the unemployment got written with that $600 bonus that the Fed was providing. Some of the owners are looking, well, my employees are making more money, on unemployment than they would be working for me. And so, that's caused some angst there. And I think it's, I don't know what the thought process was with all that, but that's certainly out there. And, anybody really who makes under $50,000 is making more money on unemployment than they would be, working for their business or, on the books for the business, so, but, even still, a business can, obviously they have officers that they're paying and that are, essential workers that they need to have on the books and that they need to be paying. So that's money that everybody should be getting. Obviously, they just said that the fund has been, tapped out. They're working on that phase 4 right now to try to bring in, more funding for it. And so we'll see what happens there. But, I think everybody that has a business should be applying and trying to get that money and working with their bankers. We took a different stance as a payroll company, and really we're a partner with all our clients to try to help them, understand and facilitate the whole process and providing the reports and everything that they needed in order to, be ready when, the floodgates open. So, we're not really seeing a lot of our clients, upset that there's a shutdown, because hopefully vast majority, because of our communication, we're able to go out and get done what they needed to before this, funds dried up.
Yeah, and I would say to that, Brandon, the communication that you and your company outlay to everybody. I mean, I'm assuming all of your clients, but even us as your payroll clients, to get the constant communication there for a week and a half leading up to the application was such a value add. And you talked about it at the beginning where you said that you focus primarily on small and mid-sized companies. Being a smaller company, to have that resource every single day, and if you go back a couple of weeks, every single day something new was getting added or changed or updated. And so what you heard on Monday was completely different from what was actually happening by Thursday or Friday of that week. So to have that constant communication coming from you guys was definitely a value add as a small business. And I do think that's what sets you guys apart from a competitive advantage. So, I mean, thank you for that. That helped us, drastically.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
With that, let's take a quick pause for a break, and we'll be right back.
Do you own a business and feel like your payroll and benefits provider is leaving you behind? Consider the solid team at Optima Benefits and Payroll, where they put you first. As a strategic partner, we work hand in hand with Optima to help business owners and their employees with a tailored plan to fit their needs. As a brokerage firm, they have the advantage of working direct with carriers to deliver the right solutions at the right price. Optima believes you deserve options, and failing to do the best for you is not one of them. Visit OptimaBenefitsGroup.com today for information on how they can help you in your business. That's OptimaBenefitsGroup.com.
Welcome back to the PennyWise Financial Podcast. We have our special guest, Brandon DiCesare with Optima Benefits and Payroll. I know, guys, we just started talking about the PPP and what business owners are doing. I read an article about a couple that owned a brewery, and this was kind of off season for them. So they did get approved. They got the funding, but then there's stipulations on when and how you can use the assets that you get, so that they are forgiven. And they're saying that basically they have this shortened window of opportunity for them to use those funds, and they just don't need the people. They would be glad to bring these people back on and hire them full time, but now is not the right time. And I could see that happening with a lot of business owners. So the idea, the concept was great. As far as execution, I don't know that it was thought out thoroughly. Are you seeing a lot of impact like that on the PPP, Brandon?
Well, the idea that was set forth in the whole idea of the PPP was to get people off unemployment and tie them back to their employers. So, while there may not still be work for these employees, it still is, essentially in order for you to get your loan forgiven, you need to bring back your employees to keep your full-time employee counts in line with where your measurement period was when you applied for your loan. So, for example, if you had 10 employees when the measurement period, and let's just say you use the January 1 to February 29th, 2020 measurement period, and you get approved for your loan, that 8-week period starts, and you're supposed to have those 10 employees back, or at least that full-time equivalency back, in order for the loan to be completely and fully forgiven. So let's just say, for example, you only brought 8 back, and now you have 8 of your 10 employees. You will have to pay back 20% of that loan because you do not have your full-time equivalency numbers in line with where they were when you started your measurement period. Now, I just received my, loan closing documents yesterday, hoping that I was going to get some further details on some of the finer print items. Unfortunately, it wasn't in there. So I'm curious to see how this all will play out because there were some stipulations within the law itself that allowed for, I guess they called it special circumstances to allow for employees to come back by June 30th. So, there's certainly some things out there. I obviously would rather err on the side of caution and, essentially bring back all my employees, during that 8-week period that you have the loan funds to spend in order to make sure that I am not going to be responsible to pay back the loan.
Yeah. Do you think that they should have made it where it was almost like kicking the can down the road a little bit to start that speculation period, if you will, the 8-week period to more down the road where it was like, okay, the economy's opening back up. Now we need these people again, because to Constantine's point, especially if you're in the restaurant industry and New York State, Cuomo just announced yesterday that we're staying in this kind of status until May 15th. To now, if you get this paycheck tomorrow or next week as a restaurant, you still can't open up. So when the reports show, you're still not going to have the payroll.
Yeah, again, I think the idea was to have the employees still tied to the employer as opposed to being tied to the unemployment system. And again, I think the shortfall there was the additional $600 causing an issue because, if you're not making your full pay on unemployment, of course you'd want to go back to your employer, but you're going to have a lot of employees that are probably going to say, well, I'm making more money on unemployment than I would be, even though I'm not working still on your books. So I think that's going to cause some issues. But at the end of the day, the employers, again, they need to do what's best for their business and not necessarily what's, best for the employees. But, you're going to have that gamut all over the place where employers are going to say, you know what, I don't necessarily need the funds. I'd rather my employees make more money on unemployment. I guess that's going to be on a case-by-case basis. But, the government basically was trying to tie the employees back to the employer so that when the trigger was pulled to get back to work, everybody was still on the books and still working and tied to their employers without, much to do. So I understand what you're saying exactly, and I get it because, New York, we still don't have a true finish line here. And so this 8-week funds might, be all fine and good to get us to a certain period, but we may need another bit of funding in order to keep things rolling. So, again, the idea though certainly was to have these and the employer still working together, even if there isn't work.
Yeah. Do you think that they'll come up with another cash stimulus plan for small businesses?
It's one of those things. I'm certainly hopeful. I think they have to. The first line of getting the PPP through on the CARES Act was certainly a struggle. There was a lot of additional funded options that were provided and put into that whole law, but I'm sure they'll get it done. If that's something that's needed, they're going to, I'm sure, get done what needs to get done. So certainly hopeful if there's more money that's needed to supply and prop up the economy and small business that they'll get it done.
I am optimistic. I think it's definitely needed, and I hope that they do reach an agreement. But let's talk about distribution for just a minute, because I have business owners that work with a ton of different lenders, both small and regional banks and credit unions that are SBA approved, and then you've got the big banks. What I'm seeing is, in the articles I'm reading, it's a very, very small amount of the large banks that are actually funding these loans. Maybe 9 or 10% of the applications. Is that what you guys are hearing?
I think regionally here is probably the most information, I have on that side of things. And I know Chase was kind of late to the game, obviously on the national side. But M&T was on it. I know KeyBank was all over it. I think they were one of the leaders going in. And, our bank at CMB, I think did a good job. I've heard good things about, Bank of Castile and the such there. So I think the regionals, had to take on a larger role because that's where small businesses are mostly working with. So I think, small business wants to work with a regional local community bank. Not to say that they don't want to work with the larger banks, but that they had to everybody had to step up. And I think for the most part, locally here, the banks did a fairly good job.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely the smaller banks, from everybody that I've talked to that own small businesses, CMB, Canandaigua, I heard they shined. Everybody that I talked to that works with Canandaigua, they applied. First of all, they applied on Friday instead of some of the larger banks where you have to wait until Monday or Tuesday. But they got they got approved and all that. And I don't know if they've received their funding yet, but everything's just kind of been smooth. Same with ESL, M&T. Same thing, but banks like Chase, I did not know anybody at Key, so I'm glad to hear that they were on board. But big banks like Chase, are struggling, and I think that they're worried about these big lenders, these big relationships that they have that may start defaulting on loans. And when you hear Jamie Dimon talk about what's going on, he sounds very pessimistic, which is honestly very unlike his usual kind of persona, if you will. So it's a little bit disappointing to see that, but I think that he's looking at the bigger long-term tale of how this kind of impacts his bottom line.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think they're going to need funding. There's going to be potential massive defaults on the credit card and mortgages. If you don't have income coming in, how you pay your mortgage, and there's all kinds of relief. You think about landlords and tenants not having to pay. So I don't know. It's going to be tough, but market's been on fire. Market's coming back pretty strong.
Yeah.
A different sentiment than what we're seeing on the. I was out in public yesterday. I don't go out very much, but so I had the mask on. I had the duckbill mask on, and I went out to the liquor store to buy a bottle of wine. And the liquor store owner said, "Wow, after Cuomo's announcement about this continued containment, I guess, quarantine until the 15th, he said business was just booming. So everybody was out buying alcohol, and I believe that."
Yeah.
But it's when you're out in public, I thought it might make me feel good. It did just the opposite. I didn't want to be around people. I mean, everybody's in a mask. You're keeping social distancing. It was not a fun time to be out. It just made it the scary part more real.
Yeah. They do say alcohol sales are through the roof right now, which makes sense, right? I mean, you're home. I'm trying to find a statistic, but you guys can kind of go on. I'll see if I can pull it up. But it was something like alcohol sales are up like 75, 80% from what they normally are on. So pretty interesting.
And Brandon,
Yeah, I was listening to some things yesterday with regard to, some of the mental health issues that are going to be transpiring because of all this and the isolation and the loneliness and all that. It's kind of alarming to think that, of all the, obviously all the billions of dollars being spent on medical, that we're going to see another influx of additional medical due to all the quarantine. So, with alcohol and drug use and all the stuff that's going on with that, it's going to be interesting, to get all the statistics when this thing is all said and done to see just really how much this whole deal cost.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that to that point, I think that a lot of people are like, when is this thing going to be over? I don't think this thing is going to be over. I think that this, not the quarantine itself, eventually that will lift, but COVID-19 will be part of, our society, part of going forward, kind of like the flu to a certain extent. I know it's a lot more drastic than the flu. But I think that we'll be living in a new world, if you will, where precautions and things like that, it's not going to be the way that it was. But I think that we're resilient as human beings, but I also think that Americans are specifically resilient. I think we have great resources, great wealth here in this country. So I think we're going to move forward without question. But is it going to be the same that it was before? No, it's going to be different. And your ability and our ability to adapt is going to be what separates, the winning companies and the losing companies over time.
Brandon, I was just going to ask you really quick too. I don't know. Obviously, business owners, restaurant owners are looking for different ways to adapt to this, and they've done takeout dinners and to-goes, and I've even seen them selling cocktails to go. So I don't know if that was a state law change where you can now come in and pick up, let's say, a margarita for the family. And where was I going with this?
you just want to start drinking.
You just want to keep drinking.
Yeah, no, I'm finding any way to get alcohol into the question. I don't know where I was going with that. And that maybe we need a quick.
It is Friday. It is Friday. I mean,
it's Friday.
It's almost 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
It is
5 o'clock somewhere.
Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with the last segment in just a minute.
Do you own a business and feel like your payroll and benefits provider is leaving you behind? Consider the solid team at Optima Benefits and Payroll, where they put you first. As a strategic partner, we work hand in hand with Optima to help business owners and their employees with a tailored plan to fit their needs. As a brokerage firm, they have the advantage of working direct with carriers to deliver the right solutions at the right price. Optima believes you deserve options, and failing to do the best for you is not one of them. Visit OptimaBenefitsGroup.com today for information on how they can help you in your business. That's OptimaBenefitsGroup.com.
And welcome back to the third segment of today's podcast. Again, Brandon DiCesare, Optima Benefits Group. Const, where do you want to, after your wonderful tequila segment, where did you want to take things next?
Well, now that I'm completely drunk on stupor, Brandon, let's change gears a little bit. I know we talked a lot about the lending and the PPP, all the serious stuff, and but let's get to know you a little bit more. Why don't you share a little bit about your background and the company Optima Benefits, why you guys opened the firm, and how you can help small and mid-sized companies in the local area.
It's a lot to take on right there, Cons. I hope you guys got a minute. So I've been born and raised here in Rochester. McQuaid graduate, and went off to University of Buffalo. I played baseball there, and then played a little professionally in Italy. Came back to start my real career, because baseball was a little short-lived, but it was still an amazing experience to get over there and play a little ball.
Quick pause. I got one question for you. I knew you played baseball. What position?
I played catcher and a little bit of right field.
No kidding.
I could see him as a catcher. He's
Yeah,
stocky.
you know, I got that nice stocky build for you.
Right. You got to be able to take the hit at the plate, right?
That's it, man.
That's it.
So, so did the baseball thing, got to travel all over the country playing ball, and even obviously other countries. And so that dream died, unfortunately, and had to get to real work, and ended up going to Manhattan and worked as a financial advisor for Smith Barney for about 5 years. And then in around 2008, my father, who started Optima, basically landed a large national account called CCA Global Partners, who's still an account to this day. But essentially, you know, he got this large national account, and he just didn't really, he had no idea how much work was going to be involved, and he asked me to come home and help work the account and help grow the business. That was in 2008, and so I moved back home to Rochester, and had a great relationship with CCA. Spent the first few years of my career back here working on that account and understanding the benefit side of the business. And, we then, had that account kind of settled and started branching out into more accounts here in the Rochester area, and then added my brother in 2011, who was a longtime Paychex and USA Payroll employee that decided that we wanted to start our own payroll side of the business. And so he joined in 2011, and we've been growing that side of the business ever since. And it's really been an amazing marriage. Obviously, we weren't the first to come up with the whole benefits and payroll thing. Clearly, Paychex definitely, brought that to the table. But I think we do a far better job than they do at this point. I think they're just too big. They don't really give the attention to their clients that we do. We have just a strong focus on providing so much value-added services. We really take pride in, being true resource for our clients. We want to see them succeed. We love watching our clients grow. We've had, so many clients, start out with us with maybe 5 employees or less, and, now are at 15, 20, 25 employees. And it's just an amazing thing to just be a part of that and helping our clients, bring that growth to their businesses. And, us trying to, just do our little part just to help them along the way. And, we're seeing our business grow as well. It's been a tremendous, partnership with the benefits and payroll. My brother does an amazing job with the payroll side of the business. And, I just think that we have a really great future moving forward. We just bought a new building on Monroe Avenue in Brighton and renovated it, and, really just excited for what the future holds for our company. It's just been, just a lot of fun, doing what we do. We're a good group of guys that, want to help, and gals, I should say. We just really do. We want to help our clients. We want to help them grow, and we're trying to do everything we can. I mean, we're not perfect, but we're certainly trying.
Sure. And that building, by the way, Brandon, looks amazing. You guys did a great job. Whoever had the grand vision for it. When I saw it being painted black, I'm like, black? How's that going to look? And when it was done, and then especially at night when the lights are on, I mean, it looks amazing. So
yeah, I love the spot, love the location.
That's all Mom right there. She's got an eye. She's a designer, no question. She's amazing. So she's just phenomenal. So
welcome to the neighborhood. We're really excited
how it turned out. Pardon?
Welcome to the neighborhood, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I know we're not too far. I think I could throw a baseball to you guys.
Awesome.
And best way for people to get into. So if you're a small, mid-sized company, Rochester, Syracuse, Buffalo, or anywhere for that matter, the best way to get in touch with you, Brandon, is the website.
Yeah, I would say that's going to be your easiest way to do it.
Okay.
Optima Benefits,
which is OptimaBenefitsGroup.com.
Perfect.
Thank you, Georgiev.
Yes. Georgiev. Thank you. Con, should we ask him the final 2?
Go ahead. Brandon, we typically we have a little different format. I just thought that the business lending, the PPP, was pretty important, so it took up a couple of the segments. But now this part here, we have a little fun. So Dave, why don't you go ahead and ask the 2 questions that we have?
Two very important questions.
Very important.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, man.
Okay, question number 1. Who is your favorite superhero and why?
Oh, Jesus. Favorite superhero and why? Does Harry Potter count?
Did you say Harry Potter?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Why? Why is the important part?
I mean, he's just all over it. Fearless, that guy.
All right.
Fearless. He doesn't let anything. Voldemort? Come on. You kidding me?
All right. I've never seen any of those movies.
I don't know it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know
I got
it.
small children, and I think that's the flavor of the month right now. So we're just gonna go with that.
Sure. It's because they like the movie.
Possibly Superman, if you wanted the real answer, just because he's got sweet hair and I don't.
You still have something up top. You relax over there.
Yeah, it's dwindling.
Yeah, I feel that.
Definitely based on the angle, depending on the angle.
And our second and final question for you is even more important. If you were an animal, which animal would you be, and why?
I gotta be a tiger, of course. It's pretty lame, but
I could see that.
I'm just kind of one of those that get in there and go for it, and kind of have that tenacity.
And you want to be a tiger, not the Tiger King, correct?
I haven't watched that. I know that that's clearly what everybody and their brother's been watching in this quarantine thing, but I haven't had a chance to watch that whole thing.
It's like watching a train wreck and a bus wreck combined. You don't really want to watch it, but you kind of peak, and it's disturbing.
I've heard about it. I just
Did you watch it?
I'm too busy watching Puppy Dog Pals and Trolls.
I know Puppy Dog Pals. That's a favorite in our house.
How old are your kids now, Brandon?
Yeah. Let's see. I have 6, 4, and twins that are going to be 2 in June.
Wow. That's right, the twins.
Yeah. Yep, that was the nice kicker at the end there.
And we're done.
Gotta finish strong.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Brandon, thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the friendship, the relationship, and everything you do for us at Monarch Wealth Management. And even when we have questions and things like that, I know you and Constantine work hand in hand together. We value you guys, you and Jason, and your company, and we appreciate everything you do.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate all the insight, Sharon. And we hope, again, clients, prospects, if you're looking to get in touch with a great outfit, Optima Benefits and Payroll, we can't attest to enough of our appreciation for you guys.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. I enjoyed this. This was fun. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, we'll have you back on for sure.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Thanks
all right,
again.
guys. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, Brandon.
Enjoy. Come on, go get a drink.
I need one.
You need one.
You've been listening to PennyWise Financial, brought to you by Monarch Wealth Management. Constantine and David really care about their clients. They want to make sure you're happy, so you'll continue to hire them. There's no commitments, and clients are free to leave whenever they want. Think about being able to pick up the phone and call someone for guidance and advice on almost anything, from buying a car, selling a home, buying vacation properties, or even selling a business. Reach out on the website at monarchwealthmanagement.com. There are 2 offices in Rochester and 2 offices in Buffalo. Reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, or call us toll-free at 800-480-1580. That's 800-480-1580. Until next time, this is PennyWise Financial, signing off.
The opinions voiced in this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.